Good evening. It's October 28th. About almost 9 o'clock p.m. A couple things I want to touch on today. There's a lot of talk in the news about, in Texas anyway, about the Ten Commandments, about how important it is for our children to learn the Ten Commandments. I agree. I don't think we should force them to learn it. That's my opinion. But I'm not in Texas. So I want to talk about what are the Ten Commandments, and are there more important commandments than others, and what did Jesus say about them? So we all know the Ten Commandments. Commandment number 1: Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Commandment number 2: Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is heaven above. Number 3: Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. 4: Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Number 5: Honor thy mother and thy father. It actually says father and mother, I apologize. Number 6: Thou shalt not kill. 7: Thou shalt not commit adultery. Number 8: Thou shalt not steal. Number 9: Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Number 10: Thou shalt not covet the neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet the neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, and they're on their fourth, whatever. In Matthew, we look at Matthew chapter 22, verse 37 through 39. It says, and I know it says, this is Jesus talking because it's in red. Sorry to be sarcastic. But it says, Jesus said to him, Thou shalt love thy Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the greatest and the first commandment. The second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. Everything in the law and the prophets depends on these two commandments. So, when we see somebody in need, we should love them. When we see somebody in despair, we should love them. When we see somebody who is in crisis, we should love them and we should help them. I believe it's incumbent upon us from God to do so. And Jesus says right here, the first commandment is to love your God with all your heart. Number 2 is to love thy neighbor. So where did we lose it? Where has our country lost itself so badly that we as we're, for instance, driving down the road, down a busy road, way home from work, on way to school, way to the grocery store, wherever we're going to go, our lives. We're in the car, hands on the steering wheel. And we're coming up to the stoplight, and there's somebody over here on the right with a sign, we'll work for food, we'll work for beer, or hey, I need help. Whatever the sign says. Person on the left-hand side of the road, same thing. Well, he's like throwing rocks at cars. Where did we get to the point in our lives that we grab a hold of the steering wheel tighter and we turn a blind eye, put blinders on, and hurry through the intersection because we don't want to see those people on the side of the road that are in need? Now, when I talk to people, they say, but Ed, that person is homeless and they're on the street and they're needing food or money or whatever they're doing because they chose to be there. It's their lifestyle choices. Okay? So you say that, but Jesus doesn't say, love thy neighbor if they're perfect. Love thy neighbor if they're lovable. Love thy neighbor if they're sober. Love your neighbor if whatever. Jesus says, flat out, you shall love thy neighbor as yourself. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Why do we, as Christians and Americans, not get that very simple statement? Love your neighbor. You know? To me, and I say this all the time, it does not matter how the person got to the street corner. It doesn't matter how they got to the point in their lives where they're strung on drugs or they're drunk or maybe they're just poor or whatever the situation in their life is. The situation doesn't matter. It only matters that they are there. Yeah. It says right here, love thy neighbor. So, today I have a challenge for everybody. Stop turning a blind eye to people in need. You know, there are things that we can do even though we're poor or we're scared of them. There's things we can do to help them out of their situation, or at least to let them know that somebody cares enough about them and that they matter. So, I keep a case of waters with me in my truck when I'm driving downtown or anywhere at the grocery store ever. When I see somebody on the street corner, they got a sign or someone who is really distraught or they're in crisis, I stop and I say, are you okay? You know, they say whatever they say. And I say, well, here's a water for you. Or here's a water and a sandwich. Or whatever I have. I try to give them something. And I let them know that they matter. Because they do matter. You know? It doesn't matter if they're strung out on drugs or if they're just homeless because they're a bad person or, you know, I don't know. I have no idea what the situation is. And it shouldn't matter what their situation is. It says right here, love thy neighbor. Simple commandment. It's so simple. So, please, I challenge anybody that watches this video to do a very simple thing. Take a second look. Take a second glance at the person on that corner. Don't ask yourself how they got there or why they're there. Just tell yourself, God, look at them. They're on the corner. It's wintertime. It's going to be cold soon, really cold. What can I do to help them? What can I do to let them know that they matter? You know, some people, and me too, when I have the money, I'll swing through a drive-thru real quick, get them a cheeseburger combo, take it back to them, and offer them food and drink. And at the same time I give it to them, I tell them, you matter. Jesus loves you. Very simple. We can't solve all the world's problems in one day. One person, one small person like me or you, we cannot change the whole world immediately, but we can change our community one person at a time, one burger at a time, one water at a time, one soda at a time. Think about it. And read it again. Jesus said to him, Thou shalt love thy Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. Good, I do. This is the greatest and the first commandment. The second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. Everything in the law and the prophets depends on these two commandments. That is Matthew 22:37 through 40. Thank you for watching.